Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, FedRAMP has a new director, and the Biden administration charges ahead on electric vehicle charger goals. It's Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Here are today's top headlines. Pete Waterman, a former Technology Modernization Fund advisor and U.S. Digital Service engineer, has been tapped as the new FedRAMP director, the General Services Administration announced in an internal email on Monday. Waterman's appointment comes after he served at GSA previously as a senior technical advisor for the TMF until earlier this year. Waterman, who officially started in the new role on Monday, will report to Lauren Bracey-Sheet, Assistant Commissioner of the agency's Technology and Transformation Services Office of Solutions, and work to, quote, build on the FedRAMP team's considerable transformation momentum and guide program strategy for 2025 and beyond. Prior to his time with the TMF, Waterman worked as a staff engineer at USDS and in the private sector as a lead for commercial cloud-based SaaS, automated data center management systems, and machine learning platforms. In an internal email to staff, Eric Mill, GSA's executive director for cloud strategy, wrote that Waterman is, quote, in a great position to build on the direction and momentum the FedRAMP team has this year, establish key relationships across the executive branch for the program, and take FedRAMP into its next iteration. Mill said in his email that during fiscal year 2024, the Cloud Authorization Program has grown substantially, with several individuals joining the FedRAMP team. The addition of talent has allowed the program to grow its strategic, operational, and technical capacity, he wrote. And Mill said, that growth is occurring as the agency has the wind at its back, referencing the latest White House guidance for FedRAMP modernization released last month. In other news, the Biden administration is reporting major progress in its quest to deploy 500,000 public chargers by the end of the decade. The Energy Department on Tuesday said that there were now more than 192,000 public charging ports available throughout the country, and that since the beginning of President Joe Biden's term, the number of public EV chargers has doubled. The announcement of those milestones came as the government announced more than $500 million to nearly 30 states, 2 tribes, and Washington, D.C. to build even more charging infrastructure. Department of Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm in a written statement said that, quote, this investment puts public dollars in the hands of states, tribes, and communities to build a more accessible national charging network. It will deliver good-paying local jobs while giving Americans more transportation options, no matter their geography or income, and allow those looking for a new vehicle to more confidently take advantage of tax credits to purchase new and used electric vehicles. The Biden administration has made boosting the number of electric vehicles on the road a priority. The White House has said it hopes that 50% of new vehicles sold in the U.S. will be electric by year 2030. As part of its plan to encourage adoption, the government has prioritized building publicly available EV chargers, which are meant to help people charge their vehicles when they're not able to charge at home. The technology used to support the nationwide charging network is top of mind for officials working within both the Energy and Transportation departments, which are operating a joint office focused on the issue. Earlier this year, Gabe Klein, that office's executive director, told FedScoop that technology standardization remains a crucial part of meeting this goal. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.